data set can change a mindset. It's not clear to me that money is the great enchanter.
Guy, thank you very much for your time. It's very tough to introduce you because everybody knows you. But in case they don't know you, you're the founder and managing director of Garage Venture. You are the author of 10 books.
10 books.
People can find out more on your site as well as garage.com more about you.
Mm-hmm.
You are known to be very pragmatic.
Yes.
And you make the complicated very simple.
I try.
Some of the books that I really like, you've got The Art of the Start. That's a great book for everybody. Should be reading it. Reality Check is kind of my Bible. Actually, read this one every day because I think it's kind of the important thing to remember if you're in the business. And of course, you've got your latest book, Enchantment, which we're going to talk more about today. But let's get started on the art of making powerful messages and make them very simply. You've got this rule, the 10-20-30 rule. What is that?
Okay, so I have this thing called Meniere's disease. And Meniere's disease has 3 symptoms. Tinnitus, which is a ringing in this ear, hearing loss in this ear, and also sporadic attacks of vertigo. And so there are many theories about what causes Meniere's. Too much salt, too much stress, too much alcohol, too much caffeine. So basically I just, describe Silicon Valley life, right? So I have another theory. My theory is that as a venture capitalist, it's an occupational hazard because I have to listen to such crap all the time. Everybody comes in this room and says we have a proven team with a proven technology and a proven market, and if we could just get 1% of the people in China to use our gizmo, you might imagine how successful we'll be, and how hard could that be to get a mere 1%, conservatively speaking, first year. So it's my theory that I have to listen to such crap that I'm going deaf in this ear, I get this ringing in my head, I get vertigo. So I thought that before the Meniere's got too bad and it was an epidemic of Meniere's in Silicon Valley, I would come up with a very simple rule about the optimal PowerPoint presentation. And I believe it is 10 slides that you should be able to give in 20 minutes, and the smallest font should be 30 points. And if you obeyed those 3 rules, you would have a better presentation than 95% of the people.
And so that's definitely a great lesson for anybody, I guess, presenting externally to their company or even presenting internally to your company.
In any circumstance. I've never seen a presentation that was too short. And frankly, almost by definition, a presentation is never too short, because if it truly is too short and it doesn't have enough information, but the audience is interested, which is a big but, okay? So if that's the case, it's a fascinating presentation, there's only 10 slides, and you just want more, the audience will ask for more, and then you can give them more. That is very, very, very good compared to you threw 60 slides at them, and they're saying, God, enough.
It could be turn off.
Yes.
It could be turn off for your audience, which often, in the analytics field, we think we want to give all the details, and it's kind of difficult to evangelize into a space where people might not even believe in your field. I think that's probably the challenge that most people in the audience have, is they're trying to change the culture of their organization to be more analytical. They might be sharing almost too much information, and then all of a sudden they turn off people. So what's your strategy here for enchanting managers up and down the organization?
Well, first, specifically with analytics, I definitely believe that a data set can change a mindset, no question. But I think that in many circumstances, analytics, people lose sight of the fact that the goal is not the number. It's not the number of standard deviations or the statistical significance or whatever. Management and marketing wants to know, do I run this ad or do I run this ad? Just tell me. Don't give me just do I do this or do I do this? Is tweeting better at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m.? That's all they really want to know. So that's something to keep in mind. You can go from a supply side, which is what kind of data can we supply, to a demand side, which is just, what's the next decision? Move? Yeah, what is the next move? So your question was, how do you basically enchant the people who work for you?
Exactly.
Okay, so let me tell you. Of course, there's a whole chapter about that in the book, but I think 90% of the action is defined by an acronym, MAP. And MAP stands for Mastery, Autonomy, and Purpose. And what I'm saying is, if you want to enchant someone who works for you, first provide them an opportunity to master a new skill. Analytics, SEO, SEM, PPC, whatever it is, right? Social media. Give them a pitch that says, if you come work for me, you'll learn how to be a better marketer, better CIO, CTO, better database administrator, whatever. You'll increase your life skills. So that's mastery. You'll not only be increasing your skills, but you will do it autonomously. I am not going to micromanage you. And then the third thing, the home run is, and we have a higher purpose. We're not just selling widgets. We're not just trying to exchange glass and steel and rubber for money. We have a higher purpose of making the world a better place, increasing people's creativity or productivity or something like that. A higher purpose than just making widgets and getting money for it. So I think if you told an employee, listen, that's what I offer. Mastery, autonomy, and purpose. Notice the M does not stand for money.
Sure.
And in money, within reason, you have to have enough money to live. But after that, it's not clear to me that money is the great enchanter.
How about when you go higher in the organization? You've got this great, and I'll ask you to finish my sentence. The higher you go in the organization, the thinner the air.
Yes.
And so the thinner the air, what happens next?
The more difficult it is to support intelligent life.
And so how do you get then sponsorship or support above in the organization when you want to change the culture of the organization?
Well, there's several methods. Method number one, my most recommended method, is you don't get permission. That you ask for forgiveness, not permission. And that's kind of been the secret of my success in my career. Because, when you get to the vice president, CXO level, if you ask permission, I think what happens is people always take the scary case. What happens if we, take a conversation that could very well occur right now. So, we want to have a Twitter account for our organization. And if you ask the vice president that, they're going to say, oh, man, I remember reading in Wired about this guy. This company had this Twitter account, and this person was tweeting secrets and, getting into it with customers and all that. And
all the emails.
Emails are flying off. And then, the legal department of that organization went crazy because this person was divulging secrets and all that. So no Twitter account. My recommendation is that just get the Twitter account. Start tweeting. There's two things. So you have to have the spirit to try, and then you have to have the spirit to fix after you try, because you will not be right.
That's right.
And it's like saying that the willingness to try is 90% of the battle, and then the second 90% is the willingness to fix. Now, obviously, the math works out. That's 180%, but that's what I'm telling you. It's that hard. So
it's being willing to take the approach of experimentation. I'll give you a specific example. In the analytics world, we always think that if you build the best scorecard with the best metrics, it's going to be perfect. And you forget that, in fact, the goal is not perfect metrics, but maybe change of behavior.
The goal is selling more stuff.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And so there's quite a few things there. Let's go back to some of the content that's in the book. And we could stay here for hours. You talked about two things that really caught my attention. You talked about many things, but there are two things that really got my attention in the way they could impact our audience. One is you talk about doing something dicey, which is an acronym, and you'll explain to us. And then the pre-mortem.
When a project fails or a product fails, there's often a post-mortem. And post-mortem means after death. And you get in this session, and there might not even be the people from the team left because they've gone on to another company or a different project or something. But you have this post-mortem, and people are all depressed and angry, and they're blaming each other, and a lot of people are missing. And so you expect to get something out of that. It's difficult. Lots of emotion, lots of anger, lots of disappointment, lots of everything. So what I recommend to prevent pre-mortems is to prevent post-mortems is a pre-mortem. And a pre-mortem happens before death. And the supposition is you bring the team together and you say, instead of saying, does anybody see anything wrong? Because if you say that, in most teams, you won't get an answer, right? Because let's say that you're the marketing person and you think the software sucks. It takes someone with some courage, if not stupidity, to say, I hate to tell you guys, but you guys, the software sucks. This is not going to fly. So what will happen is the engineering manager get all pissed off. You'll have this whole thing, and then some of your boss may think, oh, this is like a pessimistic naysayer. He's not a team player. He's like ragging on the engineer. So you'll be typecast as this, pain in the ass person. So after you do that one time, you say, okay, I'm just going to shut up, and I'll do the marketing. They'll do the engineering. Whatever, they throw it over the transom, I'll take it to market, which is not exactly optimal.
Right.
So the way
but it does happen.
It does happen. So the way the pre-mortem works is you say, all right, time out, everybody. Let's pretend the project, whatever, failed. We failed. It died. Why did it die? Everybody come up with all the reasons. Too many bugs, lousy marketing, lousy distribution. Salesforce wasn't sophisticated enough to explain the product.
There could be lots of
whatever,
reasons.
yeah.
But it allows people to open up, basically.
Open up and just say, I'm not saying you're a bozo engineer. I'm not saying your software is a piece of crap. But one reason why this project could die is there's bugs in the software. And then the next step is, okay, so bugs in the software, how can we prevent that? Are we tracking it well enough? Do we have enough testers on it? Do we have enough QA on it? Another person might say, well, we lack sales distribution. And you could say, well, okay, so we lack sales distribution. So, let's find a partner now because we know this might be a problem. And so theoretically, you go through all the lists of the major things, you fix them then, and then you never have a post-mortem because you didn't die. You have a celebration instead.
And often the value of a post-mortem can only be acted on if you go out and do the same thing again.
Yeah,
so
with the same people.
With the same, which rarely happens.
Never happens. So DICE stands for deep, which is a great product, has lots of features.
Yep.
The I stands for intelligent, a great product. You look at it, you say, wow, somebody understood my problem, understood my pain, maybe even understands my pain better than I do. And I'll give you an example because this is a hard concept to grasp sometimes. Ford makes a product called My Key, and you can program the top speed of the car into the key. So let's say you buy a Ford Mustang GT500 Shelby. 0 to 60 in, 4.4 seconds, top speed of 140 miles an hour, like badass Mustang, right? Let's say you have a 17-year-old son. There's going to be some point where he's going to drive the car.
Are you talking from personal experience here?
Yeah, kind of. And so, do you want to hand the keys to GT500 to your 17-year-old son? Not a good idea. But if you hand the My Key to him, it'll be speed limited to 55. Now, it doesn't control how fast he gets to 55. He could get there in 4.4 seconds, but that's it. I think it's a very intelligent product. So the I is intelligent. The C is for complete. Great products, great services. It's not just the software. It's not just the analytics, the report. It's the totality of the company support, the documentation, the infrastructure, the ecosystem, the value-added developers and OEMs and VARs. It's the whole
product.
Yeah.
Yep.
E stands for empowering. Great products empower you. They make you more creative, more productive. They help you make more intelligent decisions. And the last E is elegance, that someone cared about the user interface, that a mere mortal could use it. And as you create a product or service, if you want to enchant people with this product or service, ask yourself, are we doing something that's deep, intelligent, complete, empowering, and elegant?
And that, I think, is a great lesson for our audience. Often we think about analytics projects as this thing that lives in isolation, but it has to be complete, live with the rest.
They probably focus on deep, but there's also the icy part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Guy, thank you very much for your time again. Where do people go to find out more about the book?
Well, I don't really want them to go find out more. I just want them to buy it. Let's be honest.
So go to Amazon or any other site where you can find the book.
There is a Facebook page. Facebook/Enchantment is a fan page for the book. So yeah, they can find out more.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm Bruno Aziza.